let's get started. I hope everyone enjoyed the football and are not waiting no more for football sessions on the screen, because there will be our faces right now. Unfortunately, not all speakers are there, but you will have an opportunity to introduce yourself and tell what you're talking about and what you're working on. So today we will talk about the impact of blockchain and AI on game development. But let's start with the introduction part, so all of our audience and all of us will know more about what we're working on. I'm Eva, business developer, and somehow I stuck in the gaming for the last year without even being a gamer. That's why I get connected with lots of the games and I know what's going on. So, and I also will ask some tricky questions. But to the first, let's introduce ourselves and ask like the first very simple question. How does your project that you're working on works with blockchain, or I hope in all projects, and how you use AI or you don't use that at all? So let's start with the first.
Yeah. Hi, nice to meet you, everyone. My name is Zakaria Laabid. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Verstay.io. For the little story, I started to code at 10 years old. At 13, with my co-founder Mahdi, we created one of the biggest Minecraft French server when we had like 13. I met him when I was hacking him in the game Minecraft. So we became the best friend, and today we have this this company, Verstay.io. We done gaming.
Who won?
Yeah. What?
Who won in that battle?
Yeah. And what is our journey today? Like we are building things on AI and UGC gaming on most platforms like Roblox, Fortnite, and Sandbox, maybe on the Web3, like and before like Decentraland and other platform.
Hi, I'm Chewie. I'm the owner of Chewie Tech and Chewie Tech Technologies, specialize in kind of like AI in a sense, from working for world builders, building kind of like worlds through AI. I'm an architect by trade, so I was helping them with the parametric modeling and decisive engineering through parametric modeling for things like trees and getting nice fingers on hands and things like that. So I trained AI to learn how to actually produce hands, let's say, for AI and stuff like that. Currently working for a few companies, but notably Soulbound, which is a gamified, socialified platform for game discovery and player acquisition. We've got Sticker Marketplace and some other groovy tech that's incorporated in, using AI mostly for that in terms of processes and stuff like that at the moment. But we are partnered with an AI company and maybe we'll have something soon to show for that as well.
Let's see how our conversation ends. Probably you will be convinced not to use them. Who knows?
Yeah, so hi, I'm Benjamin from Shockwaves. So Shockwaves is a like multiplayer game that includes some AIs and some NFTs that can be used. So you can use NFTs in it. You can mint from the game items that you earn, so you can have sort of true ownership. We also have like a big AI component to it. So essentially, there are kind of AIs in the game that fill the game at any time. So you can launch a game. Since it's multiplayer, it's essential to have really good kind of bots that feel like the games when there are not enough players, and to make sure that you can get a match all the time. And we really want to do them to be as good as possible to make the game experience as really great. So that's why we're using some AIs like large language models, also for like the interaction the AIs do. There's also kind of like music is also quite important in the gameplay, and we extract some data from it using some AI tools. So that's kind of a big thing in the games that we are developing. And for myself, I have a background in physics initially. Later, I started developing like VR games. So our team, we've been working together for a really, really long time since high school. And yeah, we've been developing a lot of things, and it's really exciting to go to the kind of the blockchain. We've been in this space for like about 3 years, and lots of really cool stuff going on.
Thank you.
Hi guys. So for the quick presentation, my name is Mahdi. Like Zakaria told you a bit earlier, I met him in a video game called Minecraft when he was 13 years old. I was 14. So this is where our gaming and UGC gaming Minecraft journey started. Back then, we created our own Minecraft server, and through the year, we expanded that to more of a agency activity where we're helping brand to communicate to gamer through a UGC experience and mostly platform like Roblox and Fortnite. So going from taking a brand or an organism and sending a message to gamer, because obviously today, if you want to reach young people between 12, 16, 17 years old, you're not going to find them in front of the TV or reading a journal. They're going to be on TikTok and playing video games. So this is mostly what we do. And since the subject of this talk is also through gaming and AI, we started doing some research and developing tools to create content at first in gaming platform using AI. And we created our other company, which called VoiceMind, which is a tool, a subscription tool that you pay monthly to have access to multiple tools that's helping you create content for content creator, especially in audio and video. And we've been running this venture for almost 8 months now, and we've been growing, and we reaching a 600K user recently. So the journey is going on, and I'm happy to talk with you about it today.
Hi everyone, I'm Ollie. I'm used to be like a mobile free-to-play co-founder. We sold the company in 2020 to Ubisoft, and then stayed there for a bit longer. And I left in 21 when there was like the last big hype around NFTs, play-to-earn games, and so on and so forth. And I was like really amazed by like how the community and how the tech is evolving around blockchain. So I decided to start an own project in this space, which is called Angry Dynamite's Lab. We started out as an NFT project, and then we're exploring about like how can we make use of NFTs, tokens, and so on and so forth to build like great gaming experience. So now we are Voya Games, who built the first game on the Angry Dynamite's Lab IP, and yeah, we have a small beta version out there already. You can play it. So our goal is like basically to use NFTs and blockchain to drive a player-driven game economy, which is really great for it. So we are heavily focused on innovating on the Web3 side. And AI we use a bit more like for productivity reasons around like speeding up certain processes, coding, image generation, and so on and so forth. So yeah, that's about us.
Thank you. So as far as I understood, every project is using blockchain, of course. We're on the Web3 space. It would be strange not to use that. But as for AI, not all are using like very deeply. So then, by the way, on a side note, this is like not a usual panel discussion. This is like a debate discussion. It's supposed to be. So any interaction with the audience is okay. You can ask questions. You can, I don't know, argue. You can share your own view. So feel free to do that. Just raise your hand and then you will have a mic. So then let's start with AI, because with blockchain, everything is pretty understandable for now. Is the use of AI in game development reducing the creative input of human developers, leading to less imaginative games and the experience, of course? So we can start with the first. Again, feel free, the same, just to talk with each other and to ask questions if you want to, and to respond.
Okay. On our side at realestate.io, what we have been using AI in terms of development of our games, I can talk about like our main game is called Fumble. It's a game that we've created with influencer in France, the top influencer on Fortnite. And we used AI to create the game, also on the coding language, but also on other side, like the creative side for me was more like the voice, because we had this company voicemy.ai that we can create like if you want to use like a voiceover today, you need to hire someone. You need to like go on Fiverr and find someone that can have a really great voice, like to add the sound system in your games. So what we have used to it is using our AI tools that we have developed with voicemy.ai, and having all of these sounds that you can hear in games all of these, the SFX have been created with our technology that we have. So it was easy for us because we already had all the voiceover that we wanted. We can blend multiple voice. And at the end, we had all the voiceover, like time is up. Like at the moment of the game, you have some sound. And so we create all of this with the AI. And other part, as a developer, because we also dev with coding language, we use like ChatGPT, of course, to develop and more faster. Because before, it was more like with your knowledge, searching on the internet. I did like 5 years in computer science school. Today, it's really changed a lot for us with AI. Like as a developer, I go every day on ChatGPT when I start a project and I talk with it. It's a new way of coding. It's not just thinking of the architecture. I just give it what I need in terms of architecture to ChatGPT. And after I have all the path to do it. It's not giving you all the code. So it's not just magic. And after you have all the code that is working, for example, that's really interesting because in Fortnite, you don't have this language that is really famous, like it's not JavaScript or C# or C++. It's a new language that they have developed. It's Epic Games that have developed this language. And it's really difficult to ask it to AI because AI doesn't know about verse. It's a new language called verse. So what I had to do is to fine-tune my AI and giving him all the documentation of Epic Games verse language. And after I had something that was really thin to when I had any error, I just had to give him the error and he just searched on all the knowledge that he had and I had my code debug. Sometimes it don't work so easily like this because it's a new language, but that's crazy how much like a new language that doesn't exist easily on internet. Now with ChatGPT 4 Chewie 0, I don't know the last version how to say it in English, but the last version of ChatGPT know this language, but only because it's on the internet right now. But he don't have all the, like we said, the documentation as a developer. So that's really what we work today. Like we work it as an help, like an assistant that can help us on building like basic script. Like if I want to create a queue on my game, I don't have to think about like, oh, I need to create a queue of player 1, player X, going on. I'm not going to talk about too much dev things, but you see, I just go on ChatGPT, I have the code. After I need to debug sometimes, but it's really fast. Like I can say that I'm 2 times faster than before. And in terms of creativity, I think today what we have experienced is 3D model. So we have some open source 3D model that is really great, but it's not so great that we can use it every time to build a map. For now, our builders are more faster than an AI to build like an assets, and it's more precise for the moment. But in 6 months to 1 year, through some project that I'm following and some contact that we have, it's going to be really interesting in the future because like for 3D model, for just a map, I know that in some months now, because it's advancing a lot. Like it's just exponential in terms of advancing in technology. I know that soon you just have a prompt in Epic Games, or it can be also on a web platform, and you will have a .obj with all the terraforming on your world, and you just put it on the game. Yeah.
Well, we'll see. Okay, so summarizing what you said, you're using AI just to help the development of the game. So
Yeah.
let me start with the questions.
Yeah.
When you have the code, do you check it? Like, do your developers check after the ChatGPT is creating the code?
So you need to check it because after it's not going to compile at all. Like it's not just ChatGPT is giving you the code. You need to run it. If you just take the code of ChatGPT and put it in your code, it's not going to work.
This is the real help. Let's imagine that the code like includes lots of the different like bugs, mistakes in coding.
It's not
and the developer needs to check and then to edit it.
Yeah.
By the end of the day, it can be just the same time that he could do that from the scratch.
So that type of developer it depends on type of developer that you are. Like for me, like it's been like I'm 25 today. Like I started to code at 10, so it's 15 years. I'm coding. Like if I have a bug, I can see it through the code. Like it's basically like my eyes are the compiler. You understand? So it's easy for me.
Years
Yeah.
of experience, you will code also very fast, even like with
Exactly. You need to check it, but it just like gives all the algorithm in few seconds. Like before, I had to. We had some reflection, like thinking like, oh, I need to do it this way or that way. For example, like voicemy.ai, the platform that we had with 600K users, I developed it from scratch with AI, but it's not just AI that have done everything. Like if I had to ask to the AI to plug an API to the website, it's just my head that is going to do it because I have some experience, but someone with a new buy cannot do it. Like
Sure.
I know some people that want to train some code. I said to them like train to chat GPT, like try that, but they are every time stuck in some bugs, like because they don't know how to check, they don't know how to debug, and also in game, it's like when you code in game, when you test the game, you will find some bug. It's normal. It's the game development, and you need to test.
Whether it's like easier to code from the scratch and not to use the AI that you will need to edit.
But we are really faster. We are really faster.
Just one question. I'm grateful, sorry for taking so many time. Okay, so you're also using AI for creating images. That's good. Who is the creator of the first master images that are so called?
Sorry, I didn't hear you.
Who is creating the first image? So AI can generate from master image. Who is the one? AI is creating the master image, or designer is doing that?
It's the designer, yeah, of course. No, AI cannot just build everything from scratch. Like you need to have your idea in the head, like with the designer and all the concept of the game. But I'm really talking about imagine I want to create the lobby, we call that the lobby in Fortnite and Roblox. Like you have this main stage, like you come in the game and you are in the lobby, you just wait. Maybe it's a game that you need to wait 5 players before starting the game. And this place, you need to code it. So the timer, the waiting screen, all of that. I have all the images, the animation, waiting screen. I give all of this to ChatGPT, the images, the waiting screen. I told him, oh, it's going to be in this path of the folder. It's going to be in this place. And after he can give me the code, the full code, and I can just place it. Sometimes it's going to take 2 try to 3 try, but after it's going to work. Yeah, and that's more impressive because as I told you, the language that we are using is not a famous language. For example, for website building, it's so easy. But for gaming, it was really complicated, but you need to fine tuning. So if you don't fine tune your AI, it's it's a new job. So you need to be developer and also prompt engineer.
Good.
So if you are not prompt engineer, you are not going to do anything.
Okay, so conclusion in between, we cannot substitute designers with AI.
No, of course. Yeah.
Okay, great. Do they have another questions to the first speaker?
I just wanted to add to that, just very
quickly. For it.
I think because there's different types of AI as well. So ChatGPT is very fed. You feed a lot of stuff into it as well. There is kind of emerging AIs as well that actually are self-taught as well. Those are much more advanced, but still quite behind ChatGPT at the moment. And the reason is because they're learning by themselves, and therefore can explain their process back to you as well. And this is kind of something that Elon Musk talked about a year ago as well, when they were looking at XAI and stuff. So he wanted basically validation processes in place where the AI could basically come back to you and say, this is why I got this result from this, this, and this, and stuff like that. So I think in terms of a creative spectrum as well, it is important to realize as well that if you just tell the AI, make me this game, it's going to pull things from other games to then make the game, right? So the thing is that you still need the creative process to kind of break that ceiling of a new type of game or genre or something like that to actually progress AI in that way as well. So I find it fascinating about the development stuff, because it does make a developer's life a lot easier. But for creative, I think, you want to be inputting your own creativity into it to then get, maybe help in terms of some sort of direction as well, of what you're doing as well. But like, I do agree, like if you've got a whole pool of development, scripts and stuff like that, then why not take advantage of that? So.
Of course, in case you are paying great attention to the product, that's why, of course, you will need to use, and you will want to use like the personal approach, of course. Imaginative. Yeah. Okay. Who is the next? Especially about AI and imaginative work.
I can say a few about it as well. Like, I think AI is definitely going to help a lot of people. From my experience, I can talk about UGC platforms such as Roblox and Fortnite, where most of the most popular game created are created by young kids, which is the most impressive. Today, there's games that generate more than 20, 50 million a year on Roblox and all that. The top game, obviously. There's some that generate less, but there's a lot of people earning a living from that. And when it started, it was just young kid working with a platform. So this is what Roblox and Fortnite are providing. Roblox is like the original business model, as their goal is to provide tool to their creators. And most definitely, they're going to integrate more and more AI into those tools to make it easier. So young kid and even a independent developer can create a full game by themselves. So obviously, AI is going to help them. Like I don't know about you guys, but when I was 14 years old, I didn't have much money to hire like a VFX artist, a UX artist and all that, a UI and everything. So all those things, they can be being made easier by people with AI, such as developing and all that. So I think it's going to make a lot of those type of game more accessible and easy to make. And this is what those platforms want. For example, if I go back to Roblox, their goal was, at the moment, they're only providing a platform for people to create. So their goal is to improve their tool. And they fully transmitted the responsibility of innovation to their content creator. Roblox today, which is the #1 download game in the App Store, which have 250 million active monthly user, is not developing any game. They're just providing tool to creator, which are on average like 16 years old, which is crazy. And this game is one of the top games of the world. So obviously for them, their goal is to improve and improve by giving them access to tools. And it will most definitely integrate more and more AI. And this is the same for UFN. Fortnite at the moment is still bringing 90% of the user with the game Fortnite, but their goal is to become like that, and they're doing the same strategy. Like 10% of the player playing on Epic Games Fortnite game are playing on side game created by independent designer. And so so basically those guys gonna have it more and more easier with AI, and there's gonna be more and more game created, not always quality, but it will make it possible for people that could not create a full game by themselves before to now make it. So definitely it's going to be useful. But obviously, if you're creating a AAA games and all that, it's another discussion. It's obviously not going to be the same. It's not going to be easy. But there's definitely a market for that. And I think we're going to see more and more tool being used and more game coming up that will be created using mostly AI and less. And we're going to see smaller team being able to create things that was not possible before. So, So definitely.
Well, input from my side, I'm doubt about accessibility because, for example, I'm not a developer and I'm not a designer at all. So even if I will use that like AI tool, how to create that, just imagine what the game will be. Even though I can have a good scenario in my head, especially about like it will be like bug after bug. So accessibility from my side, probably it's doubtedly. Ollie, as far as I understood, your Voya games using AI mostly for like ops, meaning operations. For what operations are you using that? And if you're not using for the creative part of work, so why?
Yeah, so we use it similar as described already, like speed up coding, for example, like do database queries, like that's super easy now. I don't check the code anymore. I just run them and then I see if the data is coming back correctly. So I think it helps a lot to kind of speed up processes, and also what you mentioned, kind of, we don't need so many specialists anymore. So like, I don't need like a data analytics person anymore because I can just get my database queries from the database directly.
People are literally losing their jobs.
I think it will more or less change. I think there's still probably if we take analytics as an example, you still need to ask the right questions. You still need to interpret it correctly. But I think the actually like craftsmanship of writing the SQL queries and so on the database, that's something you don't need that much anymore in the future. And I think it's probably the same as coding. You still need to identify like what are the parts that you need to code and how to bring them all together. But like the actual craftsmanship of coding itself becomes more and more irrelevant over time. That's at least my opinion.
Probably that will be a new profession, like a person that knows how to use AI tools to create a code. Okay, what about creative part of the game, of your game? Are you using AI?
So we are using it a bit on a creative side. So for example, if we develop like a new world map or something like this to get like some first concepts, like how it can look like. So we imagine like, okay, this should be like a forest somewhere and some rocks here and a volcano over there and so on and so forth. And how does it feel? How's the mood like? And so on and so forth. Is it actually what we want to do? So we create a bunch of different images and compare them and see like, okay, this is the setting we want to go, this is the concept, this is the art, and so on and so forth. And then we are still working it out more manually. But I think it gives, a fast iteration speed, identifying what we actually want to build. So we are using a lot like DALL-E and other tools in order to do this. And also more on the, kind of community engagement side of things. So if we want to do a post on Twitter or something like this, like our community manager can create an image directly. It doesn't need to be like super high quality or like it doesn't need to end up in the game, but it kind of looks like in the same setting with some cool twists to it. So there's actually how we can still make use of AI as a creativity tool in order to integrate it into the game or other platforms. And one last thing, I think we are not using it that much, but there's another opportunity to just like kind of make use of AI inside the game. For example, there's like characters, like computer characters in some games. So you can have a more natural conversation with them through AI, for example, or to have more procedurally generated worlds and so on and so forth. So there's also like a lot of tools a lot of use cases how you can make use of AI inside a game itself to create actually new innovative gameplay mechanics.
Okay, I'm still happy that we still will have designers on board. Yeah.
For the creative part, for me, like there is multiple different things. Like in Fortnite and Roblox, for example, we still don't need too much like creative from AI in terms of the type of the game. Because, you know, in Fortnite and Roblox, there is like few type of games that are the same. It's called simulator, tycoon games, PvP games. It's just the same, how to say this, mode of games. Like tycoon games, it's just like idle click games. Like it's like the mobile games, you just need to farm. It's just the time you spend and you just see some coins that grow, then grow, that grow. And you don't really need the creative part like to create the type of games on UGC platform, like for me, Roblox and Fortnite. But when you go on the creative part of creating a one-cat system, for me, like with esport things, when you want to create an esport system, we used it as a Fumble. With our game Fumble, we created from scratch the one-cat system for the points. At 1,000 points, I will be silver. At 2,000 points, I will be iron, diamond. All of this system has been created by AI because I don't want to do the mathematics to create all this leveling system. So this is only the creative part that we use it. Like it's more like adding some little parts, but not creating the whole game. For me, when I use AI, I know exactly what I want to create in type of game. And it's has been with the scenarist and all the lore of the game has been created before. Yeah.
Okay, good. Again, I'm happy that people are still having their jobs and we will still have use the humans. Yeah, of course.
I don't fully agree. Only because I think AI, especially for things like Roblox, can be used for other things as well, like for moderation. Like at the moment, it's insane how many people they employ just to moderate chats as well, because they've got to go into all these games and stuff. The last time I checked, they had 6,000 people like just moderating, kind of like going into, and they can't have an overview of everything. So imagine if you had an AI that was able to kind of like at least sense negative discussion and stuff like that, and then flag it to the moderators and stuff like that. So,
But like really personalized and native. So we can
well,
have
the thing is-
optimized lots of them, and we all have that, but they're not personalized. And sometimes you're
No,
asking something,
the
and you
problem
can
is-
get your
yeah.
answer.
The problem is because a lot of the AI that you see using chat box AIs,
Yeah.
they're not intelligent. They have one task essentially. So like if you had a much more advanced AI, and the thing is we have the tech at the moment, what we don't have is the processing power, but that's changing as well. So like, there's companies like gaming that basically they're utilizing people's CPU to kind of like into kind of like AI farms and stuff like that. Why not use it for chat, for chat moderation? But there's also other aspects of user-generated content that you can use it for as well. Let's say you start to create characters, that have specific tasks. Let's say you're trying to build an economy in games. How cool will it be if the AI understood that there was too little of one resource and could basically balance out the economies, which is, that's where, blockchain comes in with the tokens as well. So all of a sudden you don't have a token that goes whoop, you've got a token that's more steady because it's balancing how much resource is available on a map. So all of a sudden there's too much gold. Okay, we won't put any more gold nodes. We're going to have more iron nodes or platinum and stuff like that. So there's balanced economy, across using AI. So, and I think that's really where AI can really start to help.
Yeah, it's a
some
good
of these
idea.
games as well. So yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I even noted it for myself. We'll talk on the other panels or the Twitter spaces. Okay, Benjamin, what about shockwaves? So where exactly you use AI, and whether you still have like humans working on that part of the game?
Yeah, I kind of want to bounce back about what's kind of like people losing jobs and gaming. I think there is there's of course people who will lose jobs about AI, because of AI, because some things will, are no longer that needed. But what we've seen from our own experience is that actually in some cases it creates a lot of opportunities for smaller studios. There's a big issue in gaming is that people tend to kind of play the same game and they don't want to change. Once they're used to a game, they don't want to kind of move to another game. And that tends to be an issue for especially small studios. And I feel like AI, by giving more power, like kind of firepower to smaller studios, it kind of balances out a bit the kind of the process, the kind of a balance of power between big studios and small ones. But yeah, for the use of AIs that we do, for us, there is kind of there's a few things. I mean, there's things that, of course, we use it internally for the operations to kind of increase our development speed. That's super useful. But what we want to what we focus on is really finding out what we couldn't do before without the AI. And that's what we do now with the AI. So, for instance, in our game, we extract data from music. Essentially, we want to create visual effects, gameplay effects of the music, and to do so, we use an AI algorithm that kind of has it's a unit that will kind of transfer a music start from a music and kind of decompose it in different tracks, and from this we'll extract data from all these tracks and kind of putting it back together. And that's something that we couldn't really do as well without the AI, and that's kind of an aspect that is not necessarily what's the most put forward, but actually there are lots of opportunities of things that could be done that just couldn't be done before, with AI now. Another kind of important thing we do with it is to kind of replacing players. So having players kind of AI players in the game that can really interact in the chat, talk to people, and kind of act socially and sort of replace players. And that's a concept that we can really push very far. We could even imagine having some kind of having their own wallets and being able to kind of interact with the blockchain, do transactions, do things like that. So I think there is a lot of really cool opportunities with AIs of stuff that just couldn't be done before.
Oh, that's cool, because the AI, when it comes to music, it also can save you money with the IP, right? Why not? There are lots of tools, such tools that can create like tracks for your game.
Yeah, it's becoming quite good. I mean, so far from my experience, I think it's not really on par with the level that a really good artist could make. But it's really getting impressive, and I feel like in a couple of years, probably some artists, musical artists, will have to change a little bit their direction because of AI. So I think what we've seen, some artists we've worked with, they kind of become sort of prompt engineers as much as they were artists. Like a video artist we've worked with essentially worked as a prompt engineer and kind of mixed these prompts to make really cool videos. And I think there is kind of maybe a lot of people who are not in tech initially, were more designers, are kind of moving to tech, becoming prompt engineers plus what were their original background. And actually there's a lot of value to that, especially for like small and medium businesses.
Oh, thank you. Okay, AI is good. It helps from time to time. Sometimes, yeah. Luckily, it helps us, and I hope that it will not like lead to like lots of editing, because sometimes, yeah, editing is worse than just to create from scratch. But let's get back to money question. Is the focus on monetizing games through blockchain, like NFTs, tokens, and all that stuff, leading to a decline in game quality and innovation? And I know that all of you will probably like to say, oh no, we're also paying attention to our products. But let's be honest, every project that uses blockchain right now, okay, like not every, 90% are still assumed to be scams from like people, first of all, and secondly, they're realtor scams. So because they don't pay so many attention to the product and to the game, to the gameplay, so on. So let's then dive deeper a little bit here. Again, is the focus on monetizing games leading to a decline of game quality?
Okay, I'll start and I'll give the mic to someone else. Yeah, so I feel like in some cases it does. I feel like, you know, there's in crypto, there's sometimes an incentive to start to sell a product before actually doing it.
Yeah.
And that's sometimes an issue. I mean, in some ways it can be good, like a Kickstarter, a way to finance new projects, new ideas. It can be great. But I feel like also in some cases it creates kind of unfinished product that will never be finished. And it's really difficult as a project manager. I think everybody who's in crypto has to really, really have a strong kind of like moral compass and be like, okay, I need to deliver these things. It's so tempting. People will ask you to promise things. Like people from your community, people who are like kind of customers, will ask you to promise them things that you won't be able to deliver. And that's very dangerous. And as you know, project kind of founders, you have to really, really be careful not to go too crazy, not to give to that. And that's, I think in most cases, it's where projects tend to go to the direction where, you know, the product doesn't get really good because of the way it's monetized. And I feel like it's not really due to the technology, but it's kind of due to the pressure that it creates and kind of the competition with others that tends to be more like on the promises than actually on the products itself. And so that's for us, we're really working and kind of conscious of that. And we're trying to really make sure that the product is good because it's what matters in the end.
Well, here I will ask again my lovely question. The thing is that like practically all projects that started using blockchain technology, so everything is about like earning money, and that's okay because it's business. And anyway, like the consumers of our games on blockchain technology, there are crypto people that want to earn, trade, I don't know, sell, whatever, but earn. So that is the question whether we really need that quality project or not. Because even though it can be not so like good with quality gameplay, it anyway can launch its token, promote it, trade it, and earn money. So then this is the question whether the blockchain influences that a lot.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like in the long run. Sorry to monopolize the mic, but it's. I think in the long term, there is a really good. I mean, if you want to make a game, especially play and earn, or like games that models that where people can receive some rewards when they play, you have to think to be sustainable in the really long run. You have to have money that enters the ecosystem, and not just money that goes out, because it doesn't really work. You cannot just give good tokens to people. It just will create inflation. It doesn't create value. But we have to have people who are ready to kind of spend just to use the app, just to be able to play the game, enjoy it, having fun with it. And that's kind of the essential part of, in any game, it's like that. So you have to have people who pay. And in crypto, some models were like just about kind of giving tokens to people. And so they will come to your game and you get a high number of users, and then you'll get investors because you have a high number of users. The problem is just in the long run, it doesn't work. You kind of have like a hyperinflation. You'll get users, but you won't get something sustainable, and you won't get money entering the ecosystem. And so that's kind of that's something. If you think in the long term, what matters is kind of attracting people who will be ready to pay, and that's the same as for Web2 gaming. And I feel like in Web3 gaming, there's kind of an evolution that needs to be done from kind of this play-to-earn models, where it's just about kind of people, rewarding people more than the competition, and acquiring more users to have good numbers, good transaction counts and stuff, to models that are more like kind of sustainable, that are more like economic model of a video game. That's really attract people for what the game is really like, and for some true utility to your token.
Sustainable game. For how many years it should be?
It depends.
5, 10 years, 15? Like it
depends on the genre.
10,
I mean,
like 15 years, I suppose.
It's hard to count in a really long term, but I feel like, a game should at least aim for a model that makes sense, at least that kind of is not necessarily doesn't have to last for 20 years or something. Most games don't. I mean, many games are just released, they're successful for a couple of years, and then they stop. But it's not really a problem. In crypto, it's a problem because people invest. A lot of people are just investors and not really users. And I think to have a really kind of healthy model, you need to have people who are sort of users. And sometimes it won't work, and it's fine. But I think it's just you kind of have to try it.
Yeah. Again, the question how to attract users, not just people who are gonna invest. Okay.
Well, that's a really good question, actually, because the thing is like, I always imagine this Venn diagram, and it's like really good games in one side and then really good tokenomics in the other side. When they merge together, there's a little tiny slither in the middle where they cross over, and that's the games that are going to make it, is where they balance good gameplay, good tokenomics, and right in the middle. And some really, and I've spoken to a lot of startup games, and they either have, they've either started with a big tokenomics team, but hardly any devs. And then you talk to another team, and they're like big game developer, and they're like, yeah, we've got a little token team coming in to help us, kind of thing. And I think that's where I think slowly, someone somewhere is going to come up with that perfect match, and that model will then inform all the games of the future, I reckon. And I'm very positive about that as well, because I think we're on the cusp of somewhere, and I think maybe AI may have an involvement in that as well, where it comes up with kind of like that, what I was talking about, a balanced economy as well. So like if you've got AI that's balancing the economy, then it's not a human that fell asleep at night, wakes up in the morning, and all the tokens are gone, kind of thing, or something, where AI never sleeps. If it sees some market movement, it can redirect, it can readjust and stuff like that, so that when the founder wakes up in the morning, he doesn't have a heart attack and dies. Yeah. So basically, I think there's an element of everything that kind of encompasses everything, and I think the future of gaming is very bright because of that. And I think that's where it's going to be really interesting. But I think, and going back to what you said about acquisition and player acquisition as well. So like, what's really interesting is that when a game launches, a blockchain game, what happens? Whitelist. Everyone runs. No one's checking if the person's a gamer or not. Most of them are farmers, right?
Yeah.
what if we had a system to check if they were gamers? And
Nobody likes to fill the forms from the very
you
beginning.
don't need to. So like
yeah.
at Soulbound, what we've done with our gaming platform is basically you can log in with your Steam account and you can only whitelist for this project if you have 750 hours in FPS, if it's an FPS orientated game. So like a game, all of a sudden goes, that's a good idea. I'm going to come to them. And then, you know, so I think more and more what we're going to be building is game discovery platforms that are addressing issues like that so that we can grow, you know, grow games holistically as well. So that's kind of like one solution to a very big problem at the moment.
Yeah, that would be great to understand how many like real gamers can like shift and invent as well.
Imagine you might be a mobile gamer, right?
Yeah.
And so like, and a mobile game comes out, and you have like 5,000 hours in Candy Crush,
Yeah.
right? Why shouldn't you mint? And the person that's never played Candy Crush in their life, and this game's very similar to that, why should that person be able to mint and not
Yeah.
you? So.
Oh, that's good. A good idea, by the way. The thing is, unfortunately, that we're already very late.
Are we?
Yeah. I told you.
But this is such a
that's
great
not what-
discussion.
We can continue that, but definitely not on this stage. Of course, you can. If somebody wants also to take part, let's do that. We'll also start a little bit late, so we will tell them.
Just to finish in this subject of blockchain game, for me, like that's an interesting subject because we have two person that we know. We are advisor with Mahdi, my co-founder, 2 kids. One is 18, the other is 20. They have like, maybe you can check on Steam. Maybe everyone knows Steam. It's the biggest app of games in the world. They have like creating a game like since like 1 year now. It's the 20 top wish list in the world right now. So they didn't start any blockchain things, but their games need to add blockchain in the future, I think, because it's going to add multiple things. But people didn't check at all about who are behind. They just check because their game is one of the most realistic game in the world right now. It's like an FPS. It's like if you are in the war zone in the real life. It's like Unrecord, which was like one of the top tweets in Twitter. It was like one of the famous game that was really realistic. So they created this. They didn't have any blockchain behind, and it's just a successful moment for them because they are like top 20. Like they have 1 million. Mahdi, tell me if I'm wrong, but 1 million wish lists right now on Steam and more. There are no blockchain, but they can add in the future. Maybe Steam don't want to add blockchain in games, but
No, they don't.
I think we need to start at the beginning to think about the game first, and after maybe add blockchain. For us, for example, when we had our Minecraft server, we had like 1 million players maybe in 5 years and more. But with this game, we didn't think at all about like the economics. It comes later for me. Like at the beginning, you focus on the game. If the game is cool, everyone will play on it. And also the biggest problem in the world right now is influence for us. That's really difficult. When you talk about NFT or blockchain, everyone is going to say this is a scam. And the influencer like that because they said, oh, NFT games, oh, get the fuck out. We don't go on NFT games. In France, it's like this. But this is the problem.
Only in France.
Yeah, but this is the problem because everyone is focusing on its blockchain, but they don't try the game before. They don't try to focus on what is the gameplay of this game. Because if you want to play on a game, I want to spend multiple hours on it. If it's blockchain or not, I will just connect my wallet if it's needed. But if I want to play on it, the blockchain will go after it. Oh, sorry. But yeah.
It's like,
that's my idea.
You know, it's just like a sugar story.
Yeah.
Because of course we need to think about the game, but again, this is all business, and people want to earn money as well.
Yeah.
When it comes to the VC,
but I think
they also want to know how and when you will earn, and then you are started thinking about like blockchain, TGE, and all other stuff and monetization. How you gonna so like.
But it can come after for me because when we have creating like multiple games since years, and we didn't focus at all at the economics. It can come after, because when you have a community, it's easy to them to shift with MAA. Every time we are doing community conferences with them on Discord, and every time like you just ask to the community if they are okay. For me, like Roblox is already a blockchain game, but it's like a intern blockchain. Like if you ask a kid today, what do you want in Christmas? They will say the Robux. They don't talk about dollar. They talk about Robux. It's the money in the game. For me, it's already a blockchain. So you see what I mean? Like they are already creating the games, and after it can come. Because when you focus directly on the blockchain, it can. No, with the mindset of the people, it can be really difficult.
Well, we cannot we will not go further here right now, but just well, we quicken that. We cannot compare like children who are creating something as like content creators to the game developers and to the like initial what it is like business economics there. But it's a good idea.
It depends. It really depends.
This like wish for the Christmas.
But it really depends. Yeah.
No. I hope we won't, because they also need to have somehow to get. So okay, I think we have like 1 or 2 minutes left, not more, because there's another panel here. Does anybody have something to say, to add? Ollie?
Yeah, maybe one more last thing from a monetization perspective. I think blockchain can offer a new way on how to monetize games. And I don't mean like this pre-sale of NFTs and tokens, but more like something like micro fees, for example. So if you look back in how the evolution of games were going through monetization models, in the beginning there was box office sales where you buy a game for 50 euros and then you can play it. Then the free-to-play model came up where you basically can start playing a game for free and then you can buy in-game items. And I think blockchain can offer like a new way on how to create a new business model around these games and therefore spin up a whole new kind of genre of games itself. And yeah, I think that's also very exciting to maybe don't need to kind of advertise in-game to earn revenue or to sell items to earn revenue, but rather like kind of get a small portion of the trading volume that's happening in your game or royalty sales or these kind of things, which I think is way less intrusive and way less pay to win than it is like in some of the free-to-play games right now. And I think this can just like kind of spark a new type of games with a new monetization model.
Thank you. I hope it will like come to the reality finally. And like that percentage of 90% of scams in the blockchain space will decrease and decrease. Okay, so thank you everyone for this panel. Yeah, there are another guys. So let's continue that somewhere, another place.